Hello everyone, and thanks for joining me. My name is Todd DeWald and I'm a wildlife photographer based in Connecticut in the United States. And if you're like me, you love photographing birds in your own backyard. It's always nice to see the birds that come and visit. If you're feeding them or if you have water in the backyard, it's always nice to be able to observe them, photograph them. And so today that's what I'm doing in my backyard, getting ready to photograph the birds. But I also have some help today because I was provided with a product from Birdkiss, and it is a new smart bird feeder that also features AI. So you can not only capture the birds that come and visit your yard, but you can record them, observe them, and watch them up close as they're feeding from this feeder. So I was given this feeder to test, and it is going to be launching on Kickstarter very soon. But today's video is going to be a little bit different than my usual videos because I'm going to be actually reviewing this bird feeder. And then at the end, we're going to be doing some bird photography in the backyard and watching the birds visit this feeder. So let's go inside, talk a little bit about this feeder, and then we'll come back outside and do some bird photography. Alright, I am back inside now with the Birdkiss S1 all-metal bird feeder. And for those of you interested, I'm going to add a link to the website down below in the description. And there you can sign up for email alerts as well as early access pricing to this product. It's going to be launched on Kickstarter, so you can track the progress there. And I'm really impressed with this product. I was provided a sample by Birdkiss, but I think you're going to be really impressed as well to the different features that this bird feeder has. And so let's get into those features and talk about what this has to offer. So I'm just going to start by talking about the design of this feeder. So it is an all-metal bird feeder, which is advertised as being squirrel resistant because really everything on this feeder is metal, including this metal grate here where the seed falls into. And these small little grates make it hard for squirrels to actually access the seed. Birds are easily able to get the seed with their beaks. However, the size of these grates makes it hard for squirrels to actually get the seed, which if you're like me, you have a lot of squirrels in your backyard. So any bird feeder that's advertised as being squirrel resistant immediately captures my attention, and it's really a neat feature to have. Now this feeder really has only 3 main components that you need to install before it's up and running. Now that doesn't include all the other features that this feeder has, but really you just need to install the metal perch here, and then the metal base as well, the mounting base. And then your feeder is good to go with the exception of this antenna that you need to screw on. So really it's 3 pieces that you need to put together, and then this feeder is ready to go. So as I mentioned, this is all metal. So we've got the metal reservoir here. This is where the seed goes in. We've got the metal roof, the metal grate where the seed falls into and actually the birds get the seed, and then the metal perch as well. And then we've got the metal base here, which is adjustable. You can change the position of it. It's all just attached by these thumb screws, which makes it really easy to install. No tools required. And then the only thing that's not metal on the feeder itself is the antenna that you screw in on the back, which is plastic. And then also the camera components have some plastic in them as well. The added solar panel is plastic, but really it's not really that important that it needs to be metal because it's not going to get damaged that much by squirrels gnawing on it or any kind of abuse that way. So we got a completely metal design. It's very resistant to anything, which is always good to have in a bird feeder that's going to be out in the elements and kind of get abused by different animals out there. So the seed is easily added to the feeder. There's a little clip here. The roof kind of flips down like that. And then you have this huge reservoir that you can fill in with seed. So this whole section here gets all added by seed, and really it holds a good amount. You've got about 2 pounds of seed you can put in there, just over 900 grams of seed. And I only tested it with the regular bird seed, mixed bird seed, but that's about 2 pounds of seed, which is a lot of seed. Obviously you might not want to add that much seed to fill it all the time, especially if you have wet weather, as seed can get a little gunked up and clumped up in the feeder. Any bird feeder gets that way, but it holds a good amount of seed, which is really nice to have, less refills, and more enjoyment of just kind of watching the birds in your backyard. So one of the things I also really like about this feeder besides the all-metal design, is the fact that there are a variety of mounting options. So you can really mount this feeder anywhere that you want to. It comes with really 4 different options to mount the feeder. So it comes with the metal mounting base. So it comes with a 1-inch diameter pipe hole that you can just mount this on a pipe, which is what I did. It also comes with a mounting plate on the back, so you can attach it to the side of your house, a wooden post, a wooden fence, really anything that you can attach it securely to, you can use that to attach it. It also comes with a large Velcro strap, so you can wrap this around the base. If you have a big tree you don't want to drill into, you can wrap this around it and attach it securely that way. And it also comes with a hanging hook mount. So you can hang this on a shepherd's hook. You can hang it on any kind of, really any hook that you have, a branch, anything like that. And this attaches to the top of the feeder here. It's got the holes for it right up here. So then it can attach and swing that way. So you have a lot of different mounting options, a lot of different versatility to the lens, to the camera, and to the bird feeder. So you can really put it anywhere you want to get the action on the bird feeder that you really want. So now I'm actually going to disassemble the bird feeder. I have it fully assembled here, but I'm going to disassemble it so I can show you how easy it is to attach the perch, the base, the antenna, and put together the solar panel as well. So let me disassemble it and then I'll be right back. Alright, so I've disassembled the feeder, and this is pretty much how it comes right out of the box. So the camera's already installed, the roof is already installed, so the only things you need to attach are the mounting base here that you use to either attach it to a pole, or you can attach it to any kind of wooden post or solid surface that way. You have the antenna, which screws onto the back, and then you have the perch that screws onto the front. Now on the feeder itself, this is where the perch is. So this perch actually comes off when it's separate, so it's easy to clean. The feeder itself on the bottom has some small holes drilled in it down in here so the water can drain out, and it also has holes all along the bottom as well to drain out. And the mounting plate goes on right here, and all of these holes here help lock it in place, and also helps it so you can angle the feeder however you want it from the perch. So it doesn't have to be just straight on. You can end up angling it a lot of different ways. It ends up locking in place there because it locks onto that. It has this little nub here that locks into these holes, so you can really rotate this however you want it to get it to the angle that you want it. And both of the perch and the mounting plate all just simply get attached with a thumb screw. That's all you need right there, just a little thumb screw. So it's very simple to do, and it doesn't take any time at all to actually do it. So let me assemble this, put it together for you, and you can just see how quick and easy it is. So I'm just going to start with the perch. Perch, it does matter which way you put it on because there's some holes recessed in the bottom of the feeder here that line up with some pegs that are on this perch. So you just simply line up the pegs, put it in place like that. Putting the thumb screw in and just tightening it down that way. No tools required, done. Good and sturdy, it's not moving anywhere. So then the next thing is just the mounting base. I'm just going to put it on straight on because that's just how I need it. Got some bird seed falling out because it still had some seed left in it. But very simple. So that's in there. Thumb screw goes right into the only hole that's on the bottom here. Tighten it up with the thumb screw. And boom, solid. Now the only thing left to do is just attaching the antenna, which goes right back here. So you just need to pop it in place. It's like putting in a cable. I might sound really old here, but if you're putting like a cable into the back of a TV, the coax cable, So you just kind of do that, boom, and that is done. So that extends the range of the camera, and simple as that. So that is the three things that you need to attach: the mounting base, the front perch, and the antenna. And that is, this camera is now ready to go. You do not need to add the solar panel to it to make it run. If you want to end up just charging the camera and the battery, it comes with a cord to do that. It just plugs into the back here. This little rubber gasket is nice and weather sealed. Let's see if I can get it open here. So it's nice and rubber sealed, weather sealed, and you can just plug in. It's a USB-C, which then charges the camera. But this is also where the solar panel plugs in as well, because that goes right up to the camera. So that is the three main components for the camera. Now, if you're like me and you want to use the solar panel comes in a few different pieces. So you have the main solar panel here. It comes with the long cord. The cord is already plugged into the back. Solar panel comes with a nice brass fitting to screw the base, the mount in for it. And then this is basically the mounting pieces for the solar panel. So this is plastic, like I said, but you just simply unscrew this part, slide it over the shaft that holds the solar panel, and then this screws in to this. And this base has some different teeth in it, kind of like gears to lock in place. So once you tighten this screw here, it locks in place and it's tight. And then this has the male thread here, which then just screws into the plate of the solar panel. And then you can just tighten it down like that. Now to adjust it, you just loosen this a little bit, and then you can easily move this around however you want it to get the sun. Once you're in the right spot, you just tighten it up, and now it is locked in place. It's good to go. It's not going anywhere. Now you can either mount the solar panel to the back of the mounting plate if you're going to put this, if you're going to hang it on the shepherd's hook, or if you're going to hang it from a pole like I was. You can attach this solar panel right to the back of the mounting plate. You've got these, where are we here? We got these screw holes right here. So you got three of them. It can be attached directly to the back of the mounting plate here. And it comes with three included small little screws with nuts on them. And that is super easy to attach it to. And for this, you actually just need a Phillips head screwdriver and a small wrench, and then they can easily attach it to it. Otherwise, you can use the provided screws to attach this to a wooden plate, side of the house, a fence, anything like that. And it also comes with attached screws to attach this as well to anything. So that is pretty much the assembly and pretty much setting it up to be put outside. If you want to hang from a shepherd's hook, you've got the hanging piece here. Put it in like this, stretch it out a little bit, and then boom. And now it hangs from a shepherd's hook. So besides the metal construction of this feeder, what really makes this feeder unique in my book is the amount of features and accessories that come with this bird feeder. So as I mentioned before, pointed out, it comes with a solar panel. This means that you can just position this bird feeder, put it in the sun somewhere, and you no longer have to worry about charging the camera, keeping the battery alive in your camera so you can actually watch the birds. I know a lot of smart bird feeders. I have another one in my backyard. The battery lasts for about a week, and then you have to go back out, charge it. It takes forever to charge. But with this feeder, you have a solar panel, and I set this up in my backyard in a spot that got pretty much all afternoon sun, and the camera remained charged, fully charged, didn't have to worry about it. And it's just a really nice feature. It takes the hassle out of this kind of feeder, and it's really awesome to have. So this added solar panel is a really nice feature. And as I mentioned, it's plastic, but it's not really a deal breaker to me. it just kind of is out of the way, doesn't get abused as much, just needs to be sturdy enough, which it is, to get the sun, and it's perfect. And it also comes with a very long cord, so you can, I have this mounted to the back of the mounting plate right now, but you can have this thing mounted really far away to get the sun that you need. It doesn't need to be right up to the bird feeder, so it's a really nice feature to have, really easy. It's just a no-brainer really in my book. Now this feeder also comes with a lot of feeding attachments as well. So we've got a suet ball holder, so you can get balls of suet, or you can make your own, put it right in there, easily held in there, and that just gets screwed on right to the front of the feeder there. We've got a nectar holder, so you can put a little nectar in there for hummingbirds, and you can attract hummingbirds to your feeder and record them on the video, which I was actually able to do. It comes with a jelly holder. This just slides right onto the base of the perch. Put some jelly in there. You can get a lot of variety of species that eat jelly, especially in the fall and spring. And then you also have small fruit holders as well. So you can stick pieces of fruit on here. Birds will come and eat the fruit. So you've got 5 different foods that you can feed to birds. You've got the regular seed that you can put in the reservoir. You've got jelly, you've got fruit, you've got nectar, and you have suet for the different birds. So you can have a lot of different birds that come and visit this feeder just in one feeder alone. That's a huge advantage to other feeders, and it's one of the reasons that I really like this bird feeder. Now, even though the bird feeder is all metal construction, the attachments and accessories for the different feeding options are not metal construction. So the jelly holder is a heavy duty plastic, and it just slides right in to here. So we've got the feeder right there for it. So it slides right in the center. Easy access for the camera to catch anything that gets the jelly. And it is not metal construction, but really I think that's okay, because a lot of the times I put actually jelly feeder in my backyard that's actually just small petri dishes. It's a really thin plastic, and the birds have not damaged them or done anything crazy to them. So this heavy duty plastic should hold up very nicely. It should be easy to clean, and it holds a good amount of jelly as well. The nectar holder is also plastic. It has a plastic top to it, and it also has a small plastic cup as well. Now, even though it's plastic, I think it's still going to be fine. Again, you're going to have hummingbirds coming to this. They're not going to damage anything. It's got a small hole in the top where their beaks can fit in and get the nectar. It's really not a deal breaker that it's plastic. It's easy to clean. It's not a problem at all. I will say that it is very small. However, I also like that it's very small because it holds a small amount of nectar. And really, in most cases, you should be changing your nectar every couple of days, especially in the hot days of summer. So the fact that it is such a small amount of nectar that fits into this means that even if you have a really active hummingbird population in your backyard and they're able to kind of drain this pretty quickly, it's easy enough to just have some nectar in your fridge and refill it every so often. And that means that your nectar is going to stay fresh, and you don't have to worry about causing any kind of potential bacteria or any kind of bad things that might get into your nectar if it sits out too long. And this also means you're not going to waste too much if you only have a few hummingbirds like me that come and visit your nectar feeder. I only have, I think, one that comes, and it comes maybe twice or so a day, and it just gets a little bit of nectar and then moves on. So I really need to kind of keep refilling and changing the feeder, cleaning it pretty constantly so that the nectar doesn't just sit there and get gross. So that's the nectar holder. And then the fruit holders are also plastic. So they're a pretty heavy duty thin plastic. Pretty heavy duty thick plastic. And it's just enough to kind of wedge a piece of fruit on there. Again, it's not really a big deal. If you have some squirrels that come, they might end up gnawing on this a little bit. I haven't tested these out yet, but that might be an issue. But time will tell on that one. And then the only one that I think might be a problem that it is plastic is this suet ball holder. So this is all plastic. It kind of feels a little bit like a wiffle ball, and it's going to do a good enough job holding the suet, but if you end up having squirrels in your backyard that like suet like mine, I kind of foresee that this might start getting gnawed on because the squirrels probably won't be able to get the suet without gnawing on it, and they might end up gnawing on this to get the suet. I haven't tested this yet, but I have a feeling that the reason that it is plastic is just because of it's got a screw-on situation in the center to hold it, and I think if they try to do a metal one, it may end up of being hard to screw together just because it's easier for plastic to do that. So I think that's probably why it's plastic, but time will tell how this holds up. But that's the attachments. I think everything is good quality. They all have a small little screw in the base of them that attaches to the perch. So it's really good construction there. I like the metal screw component, so it's going to be durable. All of the attachments for the feeder, the nectar holder, the fruit holder, the suet holder, all can be attached to the perch. There are 4 pre-drilled screw holes in the perch, so you can have 4 attachment points, and they all have their own little screw threaded hole, so you can attach really 4 attachments at once. Some of the different attachments obviously won't fit together, so you can really kind of just do either the nectar holder on one end or the suet ball holder on one end, or you can do a fruit holder on both sides. So you can really kind of judge by if you want them closer to the camera or farther away from the camera. But the 4 attachment points is really nice. You can kind of customize your feeder as you want it. And the location that they are means that you're still going to get a good view from the camera because it's a nice wide lens on the camera, so you can still catch the action even if you attach something all the way on the farthest point away from the feeder. Alright, so now that we've gone over the different features of the bird feeder, the different attachments, let's talk about the setup of the bird feeder camera itself. So the camera is very simple to operate and use. You can push it down and the camera does swivel inside, so you can kind of adjust it if you want it up or down depending on how you want the view to be on the camera. But if you position it all the way down, there is a weather sealed rubber gasket on top that hides and shows off the different buttons. Well, it's really one button, it's the power button up top, but it also has a USB-C port and also has a micro SD card that you can have in there as well. So this micro SD card actually records the footage. The footage is also recorded on the app and on the cloud, but the SD card allows you to record and store things on your own without needing to worry about the cloud service. So to turn on the camera, you just do a long press. I think it's 3 seconds, turns it on, and then there is a very simple guide to installing the app in the booklet that comes with it. You download the Vico Home app. There's a QR code for you to download in the booklet. It pops up and you just follow the simple instructions on your phone. It guides you through the process. It does require a 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi connection, so be sure that your router has that capability. I know ours has a 5 and a 2.4 connection, which I think is pretty standard in most routers nowadays, but it does require that 2.4. It really allows for an extended range away from the router. But I had no issue setting up the camera, and it was very simple to do and very simple to use. And there are various different subscription services that you can do within the app. The camera and the feeder comes with a 30-day free trial of the AI bird recognition software in it. So when a bird perches on your perch, you're actually able to get a notification of what species comes and lands on your feeder, which is really cool, really nice to have. After that 30 days, you do have to pay to get that service. However, even on the free basic plan, you get 3 days of cloud service storage, so you can look back 3 days from from the day that it currently was. So you can see what birds visited your perch, when, where. And I found that it's really nice to be able to look back and say, okay, this bird in particular is coming back at the same time, certain days, and you can kind of figure out the habits of different species, which is really neat and kind of pretty hard to do unless you spend a lot of time in your own backyard watching the birds. So that is the camera. And like I said, it can either be charged with the USB-C port on the back, or you can just plug in the solar panel to it as well. I just did the solar panel because it's just a no-brainer for me. Don't have to worry about charging the camera. It runs perfectly. The resolution of the camera is 1920 by 1080p, which is good enough resolution for this kind of work. It gets a nice close-up, high quality, high definition image of the birds, and you can also record with video as well. So I think I had it set for a 10-second recording time. You can do more or less, I believe. But it offers a really nice experience to be able to watch and observe the birds that come and land on your feeder. The range for the camera, I found it pretty good. I put it in my backyard, and it was about, I would say probably about 40 yards away from my router, which is good. It had good Wi-Fi signal. You can see it in real time on the app, so you can really see how the signal is. It also has the signal bar on the app as well. I also found the app itself was really easy to use, really straightforward. Sometimes the apps can be really glitchy and really hard to use, but this one, it was very smooth, very easy to do, and it also had a lot of nice features in it that were pretty self-explanatory. It reminds me of kind of the Ring or the Nest services, if you're familiar with those kind of cameras. So that is it for the features of the feeder. There are a lot of them. It is a really awesome feeder to have. So now let's go and set this up in my backyard and get some birds to go feed on it. So when I first got it, I actually set up with the nectar cup first. I didn't put any seed in it. I just put the nectar cup out because I really was interested in attracting hummingbirds. I have ruby-throated hummingbirds in my backyard. So I set up some nectar in this, put it on the perch, and it sat out there. And I actually had a hummingbird come and visit the feeder, and I was really excited to be able to capture that on the camera, as I've never done that before with anything like this. So I put out the nectar cup first because I knew that if I put seed in the feeder and a whole bunch of other birds were coming feeding on the seed, that it probably wasn't going to be likely that the hummingbird was going to come back because they're probably more skittish and they're going to avoid a lot of other bigger birds. So I put this out first and actually was able to record the hummingbird. So that is really awesome. And then I also put out the seed as well. So that's what we got. And I'm going to add some footage of the different birds that came and visited the feeder, and also me taking some pictures of the birds on the perch as well. So let's put this back outside, put some seed on it, and let's do some backyard bird photography. Alright, I am back out in my backyard doing some bird photography with the Birdkiss S1 bird feeder hooked up. I have had it out in the backyard for about a week now, and I've had it on a couple different perches. I've used the hanging hook mount, so it's been on a shepherd's hook. I got some birds visiting there, and then now I currently have it hooked up to my wooden post that I have in my backyard. It's actually a 2x4 post I have in the ground with some dead sticks hanging off of it, so it kind of mimics a dead tree. It's a perch area that the birds really like, so I set it up there because the birds frequent that area, and hopefully I'll get some activity there. And so far it's been pretty good. I've had some tufted titmice come and visit, white-breasted nuthatches come and checked it out, house finch, and some house sparrows have also come and checked it out as well. So far it's been really good. I'm really impressed. I also had one occasion where a squirrel actually got up onto the feeder. It was actually checking out the peanut suet ball that I had on the feeder. It was actually going after that instead of just the seed. So what I did was I actually tested out the audible alarm feature that's in the app. So if you go into the app and you look in the live section, you can actually do an audible alarm. So I did that, scared the squirrel away, so that's an awesome feature to have as well. So I'm really impressed with this bird feeder, and I'm just going to be set up here to try to get some more video and photos of the visitors that come and feed on it. Well, that's going to be it for me today. I hope you enjoyed all the features that this Birdkiss S1 bird feeder has to offer. It's a really impressive bird feeder. I love the different options for mounting as well as feeding. You can really have a variety of birds visit this feeder. I know this video is a little bit different than my usual videos, but thank you for watching. Please click the link down below. It's a link to the Kickstarter website where you can get more information about this bird feeder and also get really early bird pricing on this feeder as well. So be sure to check that out. It actually launched today, and I hope you enjoyed this video and the footage I got, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.